very important local story to talk about. The ACLU filed a lawsuit against one of the largest police departments in our area, Cobb County. What are the accusations in this lawsuit? That they are pulling over and charging with DUI people who are stone cold sober. This all is directly related to an investigation that was done by our chief investigator, Brendan Keefe. But it's not just Cobb County where all this is happening. Down in Garden City, Georgia, a father almost lost custody of his 2 children because of a DUI arrest. This is a guy who didn't have a drop to drink, not 1 drop of alcohol. He took 1 over-the-counter allergy pill. So the question is, could this happen to you? Well, our chief investigator, Brendan Keefe, has his latest drug whisperer case for us tonight. It's the officers versus Georgia drivers.
Sir, would you mind stepping back here for me, please? I'm going to pull him out and check his sobriety. Okay. Are you on any medication or taking any medication for anything? None at all? No. You had anything to drink tonight? Nothing. Okay.
A college professor arrested for DUI.
Now this time, do me a favor, put your hands behind your back.
In front of his son and daughter.
How old are your children?
12 and 10.
I'm Lieutenant Chapman from Garden City PD. Is this your dad?
I'm placing you under arrest for suspicion of DUI, less safe drugs, okay?
Well, he's being placed under arrest right now, and I'll explain everything to your mom.
Yeah, the fact that my kids had to watch all this thing was just very, very distressing. I didn't have a chance to explain to them, what was happening. They only saw me being put in handcuffs.
Your father's going to be treated very well, okay? He's going to be okay. Okay, there's just a problem with his driving.
The police tried to play it down like, oh, we're going to treat your dad nicely and he's going to sleep in his own bed tonight. But my kids, forever, they're going to have to live with the memory of seeing their dad put in handcuffs, right in front of them.
The professor is still so traumatized he doesn't want us to use his name. Garden City police charged the father with DUI drugs and 2 counts of child endangerment because his kids were in the back seat.
Hi.
2 convictions for child endangerment would have been, you don't see your kids, they go to either your ex-wife or foster care.
Right. In the back of my mind is really the whole time, I know that I'm innocent and I didn't endanger my children in any way.
Your husband has been placed under arrest for suspicion of DUI drugs.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
Even my ex said, I know that he wasn't doing anything to endanger the kids, and I know that he doesn't do drugs or anything like that.
You're the wife, ex-wife?
Ex-wife, yes.
He's going to be under arrest for DUI, okay?
But he doesn't drink.
For medication.
The blood test came back positive for 1 drug, Tylenol PM, specifically diphenhydramine, the active ingredient in the allergy medicine Benadryl. Either of these over-the-counter pills can impair a driver worse than alcohol, but only 4 to 6 hours after taking one.
I had taken a Tylenol PM 19 hours before the arrest was made.
Indeed, the GBI crime lab detected the Benadryl in such a small amount it was consistent with a single dose taken a full day before the stop.
They wanted me to go to a lesser plea and go to DUI school.
Because of a Benadryl you took almost 24 hours earlier.
Yeah, this was the next day, the next night, not even the next day, the next night.
Is this driver innocent of DUI?
Well, he is now. I mean, the court dismissed the charges against him.
Garden City Police Chief David Lyons, who once led Georgia's Association of Chiefs of Police, says the officer's opinion is the only tool approved for detecting drugs pre-arrest.
If it's alcohol, you can do an intoxilizer and no immediate.
On the spot. For DUI drugs, no such thing. Some tool that I have beyond an educated guess that you're impaired or not.
It's like a guessing game. Well, maybe the drug test will turn out something.
The officer did not have a crystal ball. He had no way of knowing what the drug test would reveal weeks or months into the future. The GBI crime lab takes an average of 7 weeks if testing for drugs alone, and nearly 3 months if testing for alcohol as well. In the meantime, the future for the accused is unclear. and their world is turned upside down.
You know, I know that when you go to a doctor, you can get results from lab tests 2 or 3 days at the most. But, you know, here, because it has to go to the GBI and all this stuff, it's going to take 3 months to get your lab tests back.
You may not get a definitive answer for weeks or months.
Exactly.
Sir, would you mind stepping back here for me, please?
So the only drug detector available in the field is the officer himself.
So one of the questions tonight is, was this officer poorly trained, or did that training make him see things that really weren't there? We're going to continue this story later in the program, and we've got the records all related to the training of this officer. We're also going to take a look at that lawsuit filed by the ACLU against the Cobb County Police Department later in the show.